Earlier today, the scriptures was read for us from Luke 9, and we read from 57 to 62. And it spoke about putting your hand to the plow. The very last verse will be my inspiration for today. My message for today is entitled, I must finish the race. I must finish the race. So let me give a little bit of background before we get into the message. Putting your hands to the plow means you have decided to follow Jesus. You have committed your ways unto the Lord. If a plow man or woman want to be successful, he or she must concentrate on the job ahead.
Yes.
Concentrate on the job that you started.
Yes.
The only way is forward. Never looking back. You cannot be distracted. You cannot worry about what you left behind. You have to move forward. If you are running a race and you keep looking back, you're slowing down yourself while the competition will pass you. Because every time you turn around to check where they are, you are setting yourself back. So therefore, you need to be focused on the race that you are running and look ahead. Don't look back, because that is slowing you down.
Yes.
When you enter a race, you have a goal in mind. Everybody who run a race have a goal in mind.
Yes.
What is your goal?
Yes.
And what type of race are you running?
Running, yeah. Are we running?
If you look back, it means that you are now unfit for the kingdom. You can't look back. You have to look forward. God called us out of this world.
Yes.
We are of the world, we're in the world, but not of the world.
Yes.
So He has taken us. Physically, we are in the world. But our thinking and our mentality should not be.
Must be different.
Must be different. Amen, somebody?
Amen.
If God called you to serve in this ministry, you have to give 100%
Yes.
of your time and substance to the ministry. It can't be in today, out tomorrow, in the river and the back. We don't have that luxury. We have to focus on the cause and the purpose that the Lord has given us. Sometimes I too get weary.
Yeah, man.
Because I'm flesh.
Yes.
Sometimes I question, Sister Margaret. Sometimes you feel alone. Hey.
Yeah, man.
And you wonder, anybody praying for me? But I know there's some people praying for me.
Yes.
I know that. Because I'm still standing.
Amen.
So I know it's not just my prayers. keep running the race. Others are praying to support me as I go along the road.
Amen.
So I ask of you, keep praying for your pastor as I run this race. When God told Elijah to anoint Elisha as his successor, Elisha was a plowman. He was plowing when Elijah approached him. He had 10 oxen. Hello? So Elijah went to appoint a successor in Elisha. And what he did, he killed the 10 oxen and he cooked the meat and gave to the poor. And then he left that and he went to work for the Lord. So he used to plow the field, but now he's plowing for God. That is in the Bible, you know. I'm not making it up. It's in Kings, 1 Kings 19. The story is right there. The only way you can finish this race is to keep focus. You have to keep focus. Distractions will come.
Hallelujah.
Hearing will come. Gossip will come. Chatty will come. All these things will come to affect you. But you have to stay focused.
Amen.
Doesn't matter what they say. Make sure it's not true.
Amen.
They'll give you all kind of names. But you don't watch that. You focus. Because the race you're running is an individual race. Nobody can run the race for you.
Yes, amen. Glory to God.
I would love mommy to run the race because she's a prayer warrior. But mommy can't run that race. As much as she wants to help me, she has to stay on the sideline and pray for me. But she can't run my race. She has to run her race because at the end of her race, she has to give account for what she did.
Hallelujah.
She cannot say it was because of my son who I didn't make the finish line. Not at all. So that's why Paul says, therefore, let us do our best, forgetting the things that are behind and reaching forward for the things that are ahead. Are you with me? Are you church? The goal of running a race is to make it to the finish line. Not everyone going to cross the finish line.
No.
Because some people are against time. We are allotted a certain time to fulfill God's mandate. A certain time. You see, this race is not 100-meter sprint.
No.
It's not requiring speed.
No.
Not speed. This is a long race that requires endurance and perseverance. Are you with me? Are you with me? Once we are given birth, the race starts. And it don't stop until we die. But some of us, during the process, stop running the race. We give up on the race. But don't be too comfortable, because you will have to give an account for the race that you run. There are things along the way that will distract you, discourage you, hinder you. But don't lose focus. If you continue to the end, you will be rewarded for the race that you have run. Some drop out the race because they lack stamina.
True man.
They don't have the strength and endurance and discipline necessary to complete the race. But they give up along the way.
Yes. Amen.
That does not mean that you'll not be judged on that day. Whether you finish or you drop out, at the end of it, you have to give account.
Yes.
Some forfeit the race because they get injured. Somebody hurt your feelings and you decide me not go back to church. I'm not bother with Jesus because them hurt my feelings. Get over it. They did worse to Jesus. But he still went to the cross and died for you and me. But some, the first little feather ruffling. You can't bother with this. You will have to account for the race that you run. It doesn't matter who upset you.
Yes, man. Stay in that race.
The Lord is going to ask you that.
Amen.
You have a race to run. Run the race and finish the race. Are you with me?
Yes.
You must persevere to the finish line. And listen to the beauty about this race. You're not running to get a bronze medal, a silver medal, or a gold medal. So whether you finish 1, 2, or 3 doesn't matter. As long as you finish this race, there's a reward awaiting you. There is a reward awaiting you as long as you finish the race. So Paul says it best. I have fought a good fight.
Yeah, man.
I have finished the race. And I have kept the faith.
Amen. Glory to God.
Paul says this. Henceforth, laid up for me a crown of righteousness. And the Lord is the ultimate judge
Yes, man. No one else.
at the end of that race.
Yes. He alone.
Doesn't matter what the pastor say.
No.
It doesn't matter what brother say.
No.
You have to run your race because you're going to be judged
And that day.
by the good Lord that day.
Hallelujah.
It's your race to run.
Yes.
So fight the good fight.
Hallelujah.
Even though it's hard and even though it's difficult, because Paul had endured a lot of oppression, but he still fight on.
Yes.
We are called that even though there are challenges, we must still fight the good fight.
Hallelujah.
Keep fighting the good fight. Don't give up.
Hallelujah.
Don't give in.
Yes.
Keep fighting the good fight.
Yes.
You must finish the race.
Yes.
It's not just to fight the fight.
Yes.
You must finish the race.
Hallelujah.
And then you must keep the faith.
Yes.
Victory. Victory shall be yours.
Hallelujah.
So Paul wrote to Timothy and he said, run the race. It's not that you're going to run the full distance, but you must run the race. Because some of us, health prevent us from running. But we're still on the track.
Yes.
And even on broken pieces. We ain't going to stop.
Hallelujah.
My mind made up. And I won't turn back. Want to see my Jesus. So keep going. Keep going. I'm here to encourage you as I encourage myself. Because sometimes we question ourselves. We say, should I continue? Or should I not continue? The answer is yes. You must continue. Keep going. Keep going. It's not easy. It's not easy. I know it's not easy. But you must get to the finish line. Give it your best run. And don't forget about the faith. The faith is what's going to keep you as you endure in this race. had been through many things, but he still kept the faith. Some of us, only on Sundays that we declare Jesus. But when it comes to in the week at work, nobody knows we're a child of God. We are like the light switch. Switch on Sunday and switch off on Monday. And the rest of the week, no light. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good work and come to glorify your Father which is in heaven. You can't keep switching off the light. And people wonder who you are. That's why some people can't invite people to church. You can't invite the co-workers to church. Because they say, who are you? You go to church. The old devil go to church. Your light must at all times be shining, that the darkness will be dispersed. Amen, somebody? Amen. You cannot be switching and not switching off. No. I told you anything lukewarm, God will spew you out. Yes. You must be consistent. Yes. Keep your light burning for Jesus. Yes. Paul faced opposition. Yes. Paul faced adversities. Yes. But he stood up resolute. He did not settle on his God. He never watered down the gospel. No. Still fight. How do we know all this? Paul said the following: 5 times I receive 40 stripes, less 1. Yes. 3 times I was beaten with rods. Once I was stoned. Yes. 3 times shipwrecked. Yes. Night at the sea drifting. Hallelujah. They slander and attack his integrity. Yes. They spoke about his appearance. It wasn't too comely. Yes. They spoke about his speech. They didn't have the best of speech. Amen. Unlike the Pharisees and the Sadducees, he was not eloquent and well learned in the scriptures. But he was effective in his teaching. Lean not to your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him, and he, God, will direct your path. Hallelujah. Glory to God. Yes. You may not have it all together. Yes, Paul said, I don't comprehend it all. No, man. Hello. He has not mastered everything. Yes. He don't know everything. Yes. But one thing he knows. Yes. He's going to press towards the mark of the high. I'm not the most learned. I don't claim to be. Many of you here know more scriptures than I do. I don't memorize scriptures. There's no point in memorizing scriptures. Because anything you memorize, you just come out memory gem. You repeat them with no meaning. Yeah. Amen. But I study the word of God. Yes, I seek the Lord. Yes. Amen. I get a revelation to speak to you. Amen. A crown of righteousness awaits you. But you have to run the race until you finish. You can't stop. You have to complete the race. You can't give up. You cannot give up. You come too far to give up. Like Paul, I have decided to faithfully run this race. I cannot think of giving up. I can never give up. I have to encourage myself to stay focused in spite of the critics. And I know there are many. In spite of the doubters, and I know there are many. There are those who are on the sideline waiting to see how long we're going to last as a ministry. But I still stay focused. There's someone waiting because it is too good to be true. So let's wait and see if he's going to fall. Stay focused and run the race. Don't worry about those who are waiting. They will wait in vain. Hello? But you stay focused and run the race. You who are called, you who are part of this ministry, we have to run the race together.
Amen.
Doesn't matter what happens, we have to pull together and run together.
Amen.
It might be an individual race, but the Lord also knows that you can be responsible for your brother. You are your brother's keeper. Don't forget that. We can't give up. I just can't give up now. Come too far from where I started. Nobody told me the road would be easy. But I don't believe it brought me this far to leave me.
Hallelujah.
What will your reward be? Only you can determine your reward. No man can influence the outcome of this race, man.
No.
Nobody can.
Only God.
It doesn't matter how you run or who you run beside. It is your individual race. It's an individual thing. You cannot blame anyone to say, well, the baton was passed and I dropped it. No. It's not a relay. This is like a decathlon. There are many obstacles and many events along the way. But you have to complete them all. You may not win everyone, but you have to endure to the end. Amen, somebody.
Amen.
This race we are running is not an easy race. But we have to stay focused and run the race with patience. Say, Jesus paid it all for me. All to him I owe. Sin has stained the crimson red. He washes my sins. The price was paid already, you know.
Yes.
A crown is awaiting us. But we must finish the race.
Amen.
Philippians, Paul wrote to the Philippian church. He said, wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your salvation. Fear. Respect and reverence and obedience. Not being afraid of God. Reverence God.
Acknowledge Him, man.
Work out your salvation by going to the source of your salvation.
Yes, man.
The Word of God. Study the Word of God. Study to make yourself approved. That's why it's in the scriptures.
Hallelujah.
No one come into God's presence without reverencing God. For we must appear before the judgment seat. Each of us will appear before the judgment seat. And I hope it's not depart from me, I know you. He said the Catalan is a combined event that athletes participated. It's about 10 tracks events over consecutive days. And winners are determined by your combined performance. Performance is not judged on points system, but it's those who complete the total your points. And he Catalan athlete don't win the race on day one. But when it's all add up, the winner is determined. You're not doing a sprint where you need speed. You need endurance and patience for this race. Sometimes we fall down. But don't stay down. Get up. And brush off yourself. And keep running. Keep running. A saint is just a sinner. We must endure to the end. Because the scripture said, the saint shall be saved. If we endure to the end. You'll face persecution. You'll be hated by nations. Some will turn from the faith. Some will hate each other. Some will love themselves more than they love God. But there comes a day when this race will be over. And what will your answer be when you ask, how well did you run the race? You see, nobody can condemn us. Romans say nobody can condemn us. Christ died for us. You can't condemn me.
No.
You didn't die for me.
No.
So how dare you? You can't condemn me. What price did you pay for me? None. That's why when critics speak about you, let it be water and a duck's back.
Wow.
You can't stop them from talking. But focus on the race.
Yeah. When I'm talking, you lose.
Focus on the race. There's good news about this race.
Hallelujah.
There's no competition. You and you alone running this race. No competition. And you may think you're walking or running alone, but no. Jesus is always on the sideline. You're never alone. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Hey. Right in front of your enemy. God gonna bless you. The enemy can see you. Not gonna hide you. Right in front of your enemies. God gonna bless you. Because when you're going through hell, they all see it. When nothing is going on for you, they all know. When you're beaten up and broken down, they all know. So when God bless you, why see you? No! God gonna bless you in public. Just run the race. Just run the race. Patience. Run the race. You have protection. Even though the enemy is laid aside waiting, you have protection. His rod and his staff. That's the rod, you know. And the staff. Because you know when you have some people waiting, you know, they don't show themselves, but they're waiting just to see. But you have to remember. You have to remember that this race that you're in is not determined by man. I can't determine the race when you run. I can only encourage you to run the race and run it well. That's my job. And even when you come across obstacles, use them as stepping stone. Don't let them stay in your way. Use them as stepping stone and step over them. The time some of us spend worrying about people, we just walk on them. Yeah, move. Okay, stay right here. Not again. No. When you see them, say, I know who you are. You come to stop me? Well, you stay right there. Watch me. You watch me. You get moving, stay there. And wind up yourself and get ready. Like I always say, do it. When they think you're gonna move, when you hit them, they don't even know what hit them. People are waiting for you to fail.
Amen.
They are waiting for them to hear there's no more ministry. Because we didn't make it. In the name of Jesus. Cut it off. Cut it off.
In the name of Jesus.
And no weapon that is formed against you shall prosper. And any tongue that rise up, Lord, you come down. Touch the Lord anointing. It took prophet. You think God called me just so?
No word of God.
You think God just called me so?
Glory to God in the highest. Hallelujah.
I have been given the awesome task of being the shepherd over you.
Amen. Glory to God.
And ain't nobody gonna come and pluck one of you.
Amen.
Or steal one of you.
Amen.
Or hurt one of you.
Amen. Glory to
I
God.
use the rod and the staff.
Yes.
The rod is to protect you,
Yes.
but the staff is to be there like over you.
Amen.
Let them come.
Amen.
Let them talk. Let them talk. I want to keep you focused and run the race and run it well.
Yes. Hallelujah.
And even sometimes you don't feel like you have the energy, still make one little step or two. And let them stop you. Hello. Don't let them stop you.
Hallelujah. Hey. Yes. I see God.
All the teaching I've been giving you,
I know.
you don't think they're going to test you to see if you're getting it. All the good words you get, don't you think you're going to be tested?
Yes.
You'll be a fool not to think you won't be tested. Will you pass the test?
Yes.
That is the question. That is the question.
Yes.
When the enemy come upon you,
Yes. Lord.
a standard is raised.
Hallelujah.
A standard is raised.
Yes.
Do you know who you are? Do you know what you possess? Do you know what you possess? You're blessed.
Yes.
You're blessed. Because